Hey there, welcome from Salt Lake City, Utah, where I was here for NW Met 2026 show, which was great for higher ed. This is Nancy Blanchard, and you are listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hi there, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, where I finally finished up babysitting duties. And meet Rudy. This is Brandy Johnson. Welcome to AV Life.
Hello, I am Murphy of House Daley in Southern California, defender of the project and author of the AV Project Manager Handbook. I am with my AV professional friends here for the recording of and the community of the AV Life.
Hey, Joe. Oh, wait, no, not Joe. It's James here. Long time before I got back on, but I'm back, and you are listening and watching the AV Life.
And boy, do we have a good. Wait, no. Oh, stop. That's Joe Way too. Oh no. This is Tim Van Wert, your host. You are watching and listening to the AV Life. That's our podcast here today. I don't know. Joe seems to leak in at some point. He just lingers.
Always takes over the show.
He's like out in like Switzerland or something like that right now. Like he's just
where in the world is Joe Way?
Exactly.
Well, somebody was saying he was supposed to be at this conference, and I said, well, he just came back from Japan, so maybe he can't.
He's in Switzerland.
Yeah, no,
what?
No, he's in Switzerland.
Yeah. I think it's a vacation thing with his wife, so that they went out to Switzerland. I don't believe there was work included into it, but with Joe, you never know.
With Joe, it's always work.
Always vendor management of some sort. So
yeah,
it's like that's where we learned. That's where we all learned it from. We all learned it from Joe. So it's all right. So how are we all doing here today, folks? We're at the end of May. We're wrapping up May, which is a little crazy.
Countdown.
Countdown.
The road to InfoComm.
Countdown to InfoComm. Yeah.
Don't forget to drink your water, friends.
You're seeing all the disco blow up.
Let me tell you. So well, first off, I'm going to reiterate what Murphy said, because we said we were going to do it, and we're doing it. Here's your reminder: start drinking your water now for Vegas.
Yeah.
And James, I think it was you that, like, I think last or 2 years ago, you were like, you need at least a week ahead of time, right?
I say at least a day. I always, like, the players I coach, we always tell them the water you drink today is actually for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So if you're thirsty now, it's too late, especially out here in Vegas in the summer. So yeah, a week in advance, even better.
So there you go. And we're telling you now, because this will be like just at the end of May, so we're just so
ready.
I know. My son picked up his suit for his 5th grade graduation dance that he's got coming up in June. I know, he looks like a little adult. It's
so cute.
It was a good looking kid. What can I say? I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because I'm the dad.
I have no doubt.
But we're fast approaching InfoComm. And Peerless, like, way to go, Peerless. Like,
Carrie is the best.
The AI utilization,
it's so smart.
Yeah, this is their party is already legendary. Mm-hmm. They are now building up the hype beforehand.
I've had my outfit for weeks.
I've never been to one.
I actually have never been to one either.
It's the best party ever.
You know what? Honestly, for all the years that I've done InfoComm, I've never gone usually to after parties, because work in the booth the whole day talking,
it's exhausting.
I just want to chill.
So that's the only one I go to. Like, that's the only one. Like, I went and I'm like, and I couldn't wait for this year. I couldn't wait to do another one, because it was phenomenal.
I got to go with Renee the one time when I think it was the first time I went to InfoComm, and you're right, Brandy. They were it was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I will say all the AI images look great. Brandy's, yours looked amazing. So did Renee's.
I had to redo mine.
Tammy had hers.
The optics in it.
What's that?
I had to redo mine because I'm like, I didn't know I could put PTZ optics on it. So I'm like, once I figured that out, I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
There you go. And then Joe shared his.
Joe's.
And
I don't know what
folks,
to say about that.
You know what? We're not even gonna say what
I said.
He looks like he's got a pass.
I can't say that. Well, I guess actually, technically, I can't say mine either, or I shouldn't say mine either.
You can't say either. But you guys can guess.
Yeah. So go find Joe's profile on LinkedIn and find that picture. And actually, if you're listening to this, your phone is probably also listening to it. So maybe it'll just show up in your algorithm anyhow.
Right.
We're speaking it into existence. So yeah, find Joe's picture for the Peerless Party and you'll understand. So I'm trying to think of like a clean way of saying how he's dressed, but I can't. Like, yeah. But anyway.
He starred in videos. Inappropriate videos.
There you go.
That's what it looks like.
But anyway, coming all the way around, bravo to Peerless. This is perfect AI utilization, I think, for like a fun purpose, you know. So, and I know there's probably some anti-AI folk out there that don't agree with me on that statement, but you know, as I say, you're speaking of your pups there are getting a little frisky with you there, Brandy.
Double fisting.
All right, cool. So yeah, so the road to InfoComm is now. So yeah, and just as your reminder, don't forget you have the HETMA Education Summit that kicks off. That's Monday and Tuesday of the week of InfoComm. For all the folks that are doing other education beforehand, good luck with getting ready for like your CTS, CTSI, CCSD, CTSN. James, is that the network?
AMP.
AMP. That's it. ANP. That's it.
Yeah.
What's that one? I've never heard of it.
That's their networking one. It's a pretty new one for them.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what it really stands for, but my educated guess is like a Vixen network professional or something like that, or AV.
I think it's AV without the
we're just gonna keep adding letters to the end, kind of like another acronym.
Well, that's why I just thought it was like CTSN for like for the network piece, but
I just got bit. Sorry.
So good luck with all that. Stop by the HETMA booth, say hi to folks. You know, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. We've got our times set. I actually owe the crew meeting invites. Whoa. Photo bomb of a pup.
I'm trying to take a video of this, like a picture of this from behind. It's kind of funny.
All of a sudden, it was just dog head in it. Nope, there it is.
I'm gonna send that picture to you for the post.
So, all right. Well, hold on. So we got all the other InfoComm stuff. Just make sure you drink water. Get ready to go for that. I don't want to take up too much time of this because we also we have another conversation we want to get to. Murphy, do you have a PM minute? And I shouldn't be pushing on. Okay, cool. I figured you did. I didn't want to put you on the spot though. So cool. So I'm going to pass it over to you and then we'll get on with our conversation that we were doing before we started recording.
Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate your you handing me the mic. When it comes to project management, there's a lot of details flying around all the time. In any single project, there's a huge amount of information that goes about the schedule of the different specialties that are involved, what the customer needs, what the shipping, all this information is flying around. And then most project managers have multiple projects that they're handling. We don't just do one. So I want to say, organize the information. That information has to be organized. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, although if you want to know, I can share with you what I do. But putting that information in a place where you can get it quickly will keep your sanity. Oh, yes. Yes, my book does have a lot of tips for how to do that. Get that information, contain it, have it where you can find it quickly. That's the way projects can work, really. Get your systems and don't forget to put things in them. Projects can't be won. They will just close in on you, and you will not be able to survive a project if you don't get the details taken care of in your systems. That's what I wanted to mention today.
Bravo for that. And I second that so strongly. As one who is neurodivergent, organization is required, because if I was trying to just fly by the seat of my pants and not keep the details in line, my projects would fall apart, like without even a question.
So that's the paying attention to detail organization. I'm not real good at, but I always say is very important. And actually, it kind of reminds me of I heard this on a different podcast and something I shared with my team, and it's called "Did You Leave the Ice Cream Out?" And what it's talking about is, you get excited, you go and make an ice cream sundae, you take the carton out of the freezer, you put it in the bowl, you put your toppings on, you get all set to eat this ice cream, you leave, and the carton is sitting on the counter melting. And now, who cares? You got your ice cream, but now later on, you're impacted because you can't eat that ice cream. So I even actually, can we share stuff in here?
If not,
let's see. Well, let's try it. I'm trying something here.
Go ahead. We're trying. Sorry, folks. We're trying this live.
Here.
We're doing it live.
So I actually have this image. Do you all see that?
Hold on.
You might have to bring it in.
Let me. Yes, there we go. I have to give it. There it is.
Yeah, I have that on the wall in my office. It's to remind the team. Did you leave the ice cream out on the counter?
That's fantastic.
That is fantastic.
Thank you, AI.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, no,
I'm not a project because I cannot organize. I'm a chaotic mess, and that's how I live, and that's how I function.
And there are people like that. My oldest brother is like that. Like his bedroom was always like you walk in there and you seriously think like a bomb went off. Like it was just a mess. And my mom would like clean it up when he was a child, and he would come home and he'd be like, where's this? Where's that? He would know exactly, like in the mess, he knew where everything was. He was he knew exactly, but once it was clean, he had no clue where things were.
Yeah, that's how my son is. And I'm that way with I used to be that way with like my desk, work, and like everybody's like, I don't know how you work like this. But like my home has to be organized. But like everything else, and like I push everything to the limit, like to the minute. Like when I was in college, I'd be writing a 10-page paper 30 minutes before class, and hadn't even done anything yet, and I got an A every time. I have never won an A presentation ever.
Oh! I don't know if I shared it. I got a B+ in my master's class.
Congratulations.
That reminded me. Great. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta be. I did it. Like I did a thing.
Good job.
So yeah. So anyway, but yeah. So it's funny though. Like I still find myself doing similar things, Brandy. Like where it's like I need that pressure of the deadline, like to really kind of push some things. But what I found though too is that I don't like last minute requests, which is weird. Like, so like, it's like
like in your mind, you're mentally prepared for that. Like you're mentally prepared, right? You've mentally prepared for that last minute.
Correct. Yeah.
Done. But if something comes in and throws you, it just throws off. You're not mentally prepared for it.
Exactly. Like I need to mentally prepare to be in a rush.
Right. But that's why I can't over prepare. I can't prepare for a presentation over prepare because if something, because if I'm over prepared up here and I'm not ready for the unknown. So if something happens, I can't mentally get past because I'm too prepared in my mind.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank you, Murphy. That was a good one.
Really good one.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, and speaking of being prepared, James and I are kind of going through similar situations right now, and we are hiring. Or actually, I guess at this point, my posting has been taken down. The posts are down, and now we're in the fun world of interviews and weeding out those that are not to be selected for the position. So, it seems to be now my experience with what I was getting in our post for our posting. Now, I only had one position posted. I got 60 applicants in a matter of 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. I think it was like 2.5 weeks. And it was a wide variety of people, some of which I don't think they read the job posting, to be honest. Because like it specifically talks about AV technology and working with instructional type stuff and working with faculty, and some of these people did not have any of that. So, James, I mean, that I think we were talking a little bit beforehand, and that was kind of your kind of experience as well.
Well, my post is a little different because it really doesn't mention too much of the AV side of things, so it's more IT. So yeah, but I really had a wide range. We had 2 openings, and of course they're all closed. All interviews are done, so we're now just wrapping up for the whole HR process. So can't share much about that. Why it's going for the HR stuff, but yeah, we had about 60 folks across the 2 positions, which is odd because usually, as I said off air, I'm tired of being in the hiring phase, and my post would usually get 10 to 15 applicants. This one was a large number, so it was actually interesting.
Yeah,
I mean. Right
I think that's a tale of like where we are as far as our economy is concerned right now. And I know there were more acquisitions and mergers that had come up in the last couple of weeks too, and we haven't really talked about that. But in our little AV world, that's something.
Yeah.
I went downtown for lunch today with a friend, and my town is an older town for California, and it's late 1800s is when it was founded, right? So a whole bunch of businesses in the downtown, which is you'd think would be very expensive business real estate. Like there was a bike store that's been there since the 70s, since 1971. It's closed. There was a lot of storefronts. I'm like, oh, this is a sign. Even my town is getting hit.
Yeah.
So
it's really sad.
So it's
I do think though companies are starting to use it some as to get rid of, here's an opportunity to get rid of dead weight.
I actually think I was reading somewhere that it's an interesting. I still think the article was the data wasn't really there. So I'm a little hesitant to fully believe, but it was talking about how a lot of companies are laying off people thinking they're going to save money with going to AI, which, okay, I understand. But now they're finding out that the AI token costs, they're spending more on that than they were on their employees. So it's actually not saving them money.
And you put people out of work, which in turn is affecting our economy. Like it's like this big vicious cycle.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what the problem, I don't know about Tim, if you're seeing this, and this is I think a larger discussion is I'm feeling, especially with, and this is not to target the younger generation, but I really think I see it more with them, is they're not coming prepared
Yeah.
for interviews or the applicant, like,
Or life.
or life. Yeah, they're not prepared for life. And I'm actually worried about, the future of education and all that stuff, and the economy and society, because there's things that are going on. I'm like, this is not right. Like, there are people who believe things that are, it's like, no, this is not right. Why are you believing this?
Mm-hmm. And and that's the thing. Like, there were some that weren't prepared. They didn't pay attention. They didn't pay attention to the details. And like, you could tell, like, it was just okay, I'm going to apply for this position. And all right, here's my general cover letter. But the cover letter spoke to like another job.
Mhm.
Like, we had somebody also post their cover letter twice and didn't post their resume. Since they like went back and fixed it, I guess, we kind of alerted them to the fact that they didn't do it appropriately, and they fixed it. But it was like, you're just, now, I don't know, maybe it's just I see this, oh, it's technology, I'm just gonna apply for it. It's like,
No.
Is it a generational thing? Like, what's the class of age that is applying?
I've got a whole.
Yeah, we don't know ages, so I can't tell you that.
I can only make assumptions based. Yeah, I don't ask you. We don't ask age either. I can only make assumptions
no, I
based
understand
on.
that,
but based on resumes and like when they were in college and things like that, you kind of can, like, I had one network administrator that had been in IT for 20 years. So like, you can kind of guess about how old they are.
well,
like,
I guess not that, but yes, if you look at their experience, you kind of get an idea versus someone who's young and, like you said, they're not paying attention to the details and they're just throwing it out there.
No, and that was the person that did. And now I will say I don't remember how old that person was that did that. But there were others. Yeah, like, I had such a wide range, like,
Now,
from recent graduates to very seasoned professionals. Like,
Now, I do know with California unemployment that they do request that you apply to jobs, and
That's federal level.
All states do, yeah.
Yeah, that's a federal. That unemployment is federal, not state. So it's that's a federal requirement.
You have to apply for so many a day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like 5. So
And another
it's
thing,
meeting their requirements and just
Yeah.
applying for a job to apply for a job. And
another thing that most people, I don't know how many people actually realize this, is and that's why I don't always go by unemployment numbers, is after so long that you're unemployed, it then consider you no longer unemployed. You're not looking for work. So you drop off that unemployment number. So say, I think the number is like 6 to 7 months. So it may, like, if you don't find a job 7, 8 months after you're saying, to the federal government, you're no longer considered unemployed.
Yeah. You know what? California is terrible for what they pay versus my friend in Oregon. She said that actually they pay quite well. In California, it's $900. That doesn't even cover mortgage.
Yeah,
or a week.
That's 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
No. Yeah, it's every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, $900.
Oh, but also, like, when I was on unemployment, I got $400 a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, 800.
That was like
2 weeks. Yeah.
16 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I was talking to my daughter who has, it was so funny. She has a car now. She has a driver's license. And so she drives her car that we provided for her to certain things that are her things to do, right? As her 17-year-old life, she goes to karate lessons. She goes to violin lessons. And then my husband just was like, hey, I'm going to drive the car to make sure it's driving okay, like a dad would do, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, we are on like total E. He's like, you can't let your car get down to nothing. And she's like, oh, I hadn't thought about it. So when I was talking to her the next day, she said, I have to be careful to not leave the house so much. I'm like, no. She's like, I want the world to have better gas prices, right? Okay, well, we all want better gas prices. But I said, or you could leave the house. I was talking about what she imagined her life when she grew up to be. I said, you could leave the house in order to make more money. She says, what are you talking about? She had no concept in her head for that. And so I asked her later, like, do any of your friends have a job? She goes, well, one person had a job, but they moved away. So no one in her acquaintance, her age, has a job. So if you don't have a job that tells you how to do stupid things like, hey, don't put the same entry twice in. She didn't even have a concept of like, you could get a job that makes money. You could drive the car. And she's like,
But here's the thing, that
My
kids
son
are not taught life skills.
any life skills. My son couldn't even fill out an envelope.
Or write, or, you know, like when it says your signature, they don't know how to write cursive.
Oh yeah, cursive's gone. Yeah.
When my son was graduating high school, I filled out all his, announcements. I put them on the table. I'm like, I need you to address these. And I came back and I'm like, what? Like, he put his name and address in the center and theirs in the. I'm like, you don't know how to address an envelope? They don't.
That's how he gets them.
I would say we were taught that in school.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, we were taught that in school.
Yeah, they're not teaching them stuff.
Yep.
So, all right, I maybe unpopular opinion, but things like that, I agree. Like, and I'm fully at fault as well. That stuff is also on the parents.
Sure.
You know, like
Well,
we are doing as parents, we are doing things for our kids that are not setting them up to be successful. And like I see, like everyone knows I coach soccer and stuff. I see it with where parents are going to their child's coach and advocating for their child. And I can understand that when they're younger, like but at a certain age, and like I do not advocate for my child. Like my daughter will come back and she'll either maybe she's not happy with her playing time or what position and she'll be vented to me. I was like, that's a conversation you have with your coach. I will not have that conversation with your coach. And she's like, well, I don't want to talk to him. Cool. Then you got to deal with what it is.
Yeah.
So as a parents, we need to set up like doing the envelopes. Cool. You messed up. Let me show you how to do it.
Well, I did.
Like at work,
I was really surprised. I mean, like he had no reason to fill out an envelope before. Like I didn't, like this was the first time he ever had a reason. Well, I like my son, believe me, I'm like all about him, dude. That's why I left it for him to do. I'm like you.
So what scares me more is not that stuff. Yeah, the life skills are important. Not many people send envelopes. Not many people are sending checks. So that's a skill that's kind of going away. Totally. I can understand that. Yeah. But what's scaring me is stuff that is proven science and people don't follow. And one of the things is like I've overheard somebody talking who they said, wait, bunnies don't lay eggs. And this was around Easter. And I was like, oh, that person's joking. And then later on, I was thinking, I don't think they were joking. I think that person really believed bunnies laid eggs.
But so that I feel like falls on that's school. That's
well, yeah,
school.
No, I agree.
Like,
that's the school thing. But the thing is, it's like, I like I said, we went off the job topic and talking about education.
We did.
Sorry.
Yeah, we did. But it all ties in though, and you're right. You are right, James. That there are things that we as parents are supposed to be doing. And I think we actually did do an exercise with my son about like doing the envelopes and making sure it's like, where does the stamp go? Yeah. I think it was around Christmas time because he helped us do our Christmas cards. So like put the stamps on and like helped like stamp the envelopes with our return address. So like he got an idea of that. But yeah, cursive's out in the school. Like I went through 12 years of Catholic education. I definitely got cursive classes. My handwriting still sucks, but it but I got them. They did a club at my son's school for like 6 weeks. It was the cursive club, and they worked on it after school.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My little cousin got like when at her graduation, and she couldn't read her cards. She couldn't read the messages that people had written in her cards because they wrote in cursive.
I get it all the time, and my boys are in their, early mid-20s, and the biggest thing is I have clocks throughout the house, and they can't read analog.
Yeah, that was the other one. That's the other one, is the analog clocks.
I say 1:45, and Max goes, "Mom, what is that? What's the real time?" And I'm like, "Come on, dude, really?"
And that's what I mean. I'm not even going to go on that tangent, but going back, kind of bringing this back to parents doing things for their kids and the job thing is I actually had this was years ago, a buddy who had an opening in his company and he was interviewing, and he had a recent college grad apply, and he showed up to interview with his father. Now, my buddy was like, I got to see where this goes. So he went through it. The father sat in the interview, the whole thing, answered all the question. So my buddy turned around and it's like, "You're hired." And the dad's like, "Well, I don't need a job." He's like, "It's for him." He's like, "Well, he didn't answer anything. He's not hired."
Yeah. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yep.
That is absurd, and that father needs job.
Oh yeah.
That is like the definition of helicopter right there. Jeez.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. It's like I even saw it back at my old school with registering for classes. Like we had a policy that parents couldn't go into the labs with their students. If the students went in, the parents had to stay out in the hallway, and they would hover around blocking the door. And I even had a transfer student. So this was a student who was already in college once, who transferred to the university, who was trying to pick his classes. And of course, transfer students kind of late picks. A lot of first, second choices are gone. For every single course, he would get, because phones weren't allowed in the room, he would leave the room, because I was out in the hallway, call his dad. It's like, "They don't have this course. What course should I take?" "Oh, okay." Go back in the room. Come back out. "Oh, that one's taken too. What course should I take?" Like every single time. Like this should have taken like 20 minutes. It took them over 2 hours to pick courses.
Wow.
Parents have definitely handicapped their children. And I do feel sorry for our future.
Yeah. And it's the other part of it also, maybe the expectations are too high too now. Like where, we were talking about, we kind of started talking about it. Kids don't have the jobs that they used to.
Well, because they're trying to do AP courses and do college credits in high school, and it's crazy.
My favorite job in high school, was a camp counselor. I know we've talked about that before, but that was the best experience I could have had. You got to work with kids. You had to talk to adults that were older than you, because they were parents, and they had that authority. And you were also working with adults who were at like the leadership level in the camp. So that was like the best I could have probably gotten at that age group. Now I'm saying it doesn't have to be camp. It could be McDonald's. It could be
Burger King.
It could be Burger King, whatever. Get that experience. And and you know what? It's funny. Like the record shop, you think about like the record shop jobs that there used to be, like where you got to sit there and like listen to music and sell music. It's not like that anymore. But like those sort of jobs just don't exist. But there are still other ways to make a few bucks that don't involve becoming an influencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing
No,
is these influencers, they're gonna have a rude awakening when they get canceled, and then they have nothing to fall back on. Cool,
So-
you're making tons of money now, but that's not gonna go forever.
So a friend of mine, actually, like got banned. Like, so her TikTok closed her account. She had 72,000 followers.
Wow.
She had $4,000 in commissions in her account, and they canceled her account and took her money.
And took the money?
Yeah, she didn't get paid because once your account's closed, you have no access to it.
Oh wow.
Well, how do you do it? Do you transfer the money over?
Yeah. Once it goes into your account, then you
Quickly.
withdraw funds. I do it immediately when I get mine. I don't make that kind of money, but
Holy cow. Well, I'm going to tell you.
Well, my friends, I must transfer
Oh, yeah.
myself out of
See you
this call.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see you next
ya.
week.
bye.
Right.
Bye. I'll tell you, it's been very frustrating to watch my son when he was going to college for a year in Canada, in Ontario, that he got ghosted at every job that he applied to. Then for him to come home here to get ghosted at every job. And I'm talking part-time. So I'm talking like the new Barnes and Noble bookstore. I'm talking about, like retail, like Old Navy, all of that. I don't know how he's kept sane. Like, it really scares me with the generation now of suicide, depression, and all of that, because there's nothing to look forward to.
Right. I mean, there really needs to be a response letting them know, they don't even have an opportunity to fix what they did wrong or why, or the reason that they didn't get the job, because there's no feedback. It's just
No. My saying, though, and I'll ask this, not knowing the facts and stuff, is your son or these folks just doing the online application and then playing the waiting game? Now they're just a number. And the reason why I ask is I know from two personal experience, one myself, one another family member, my oldest brother. He was a car mechanic for years, and he's still kind of in that industry as he's worked up. He went to a tech school for auto mechanic. Him and a buddy both graduated same time from the same school with basically kind of the same grades. Second, my brother graduated. He went to every car dealership in our area, knocking on doors, and he had a job within 3 days.
Yeah.
His buddy parent was talking to my mom, and it's like, "Oh, did blah 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 find a job yet?" And it's like, "Yeah, he's been working 3 days after he graduated." He's like, "Well," the other one was like, "Oh, he's still looking. He's getting no response from." And it's like, "Well, has he gone to those places?" And they're like, "No, he's just filling out the application and waiting for them to call." And then my first high school job was I worked for a local ice cream parlor. I went to the place, my mom drove me because I didn't have a car. I went there, asked for an application, and I filled it out in the parking lot and went back and handed it to the lady. And she's like, "You're the only one who actually filled this out in the parking lot. Everyone else took it home, and that hasn't come back."
Yeah.
Well, the thing is they don't accept applications like that anymore. Like, they're like,
Unfortunately,
you
yes.
go in and they're like online, and then your application gets lost in the sauce.
No,
But you can follow up. So
You can follow
call
up,
them. You can email them.
Yeah.
I don't see that from people as much.
He-
I get it once in a while.
Yeah, he filled them out and either would communicate via email or call, and got nothing. And here's the sad fact, because he worked at Target previously, and he knows somebody that works there now, and they say they always hire them back. He got rejected when he reapplied, and he kept trying to call HR to find out, well, could you please tell me what the reason is? One, to learn from it, or well, wait a minute, but you hire back former employees, so what's the difference?
Maybe personality test, they might have marked him non-rehirable.
Maybe.
I'm telling you, I worked at T-Mobile, and I was a winner circle winner. I killed it. I was on the weekend warrior task force across the United States to create marketing toolkits.
Yeah.
And then I decided to go chase money it was stupid because I was miserable, right? I went to AT&T and I was miserable. Try to go back. I couldn't pass the personality test. You're not what we're looking for.
Wow. Yeah, he's a neurodivergent. I would say that he, is on the spectrum, hasn't been tested for that. So he's not, he doesn't come across as being outgoing if you were to meet him, unless you say something about Disney, and then that guy will not shut up.
You just go to Disney.
I also think part of the
We've tried for the Disney cruise. He's applied, but he's not. You got to have I'm sorry, James. You got to have camp counselor experience for the kids club, or Broadway. Then that means you've got to have theater experience and things. He's applied at the merchandise, but same thing. Large organization.
Yeah.
And I was, it's in, knocking on doors and stuff like that is appropriate in certain situations, right? Because we had an applicant for this job, going back to what we were originally talking about, showed up at the building twice, was told that somebody would reach out to them when it was time, the first time, showed up again anyhow, and then was like, you cannot come back until you're asked to come back. And we didn't end up picking that candidate anyhow for other reasons. But the unfortunate part is now too that they're left waiting until the automated system kicks in to say thank you.
And I think that is.
Can you send them an email and say, I'm sorry, we want to defer direction, or reach out?
It's policy. We have to wait.
That's where I was going to go. I think that's also some of the problem is our society is so quick to sue that companies have such strict policies of what you can say, what time, all that communication and stuff. And so the personality, the interactions is kind of lost because, nobody wants to be sued. Oh,
and it takes time for those emails to come out, right? You can wait weeks and weeks and weeks before you get the rejection email.
Yeah.
You hear nothing.
And that's the thing is, and I'll admit,
personal.
Our process is pretty down tight. And, I'm always careful what I say, always don't give them false hope, but, try to be clear and stuff. And I've actually, every applicant that we talk to have been very appreciative of how we do ours. And the first thing we do is if we review the applicants, if we don't feel that person's someone we're interested in, we don't go. But then the list that we see of, okay, these are the people we're interested in, we'll actually do a phone call with them. That's not an official interview. We tell them this is not an official interview. It's us to tell you more about the job, because we know job descriptions are vague. Here's actually what it is. Some of the stuff that you have to all public information, but stuff that you need to be aware of that people may not think of, parking and retirement and things like that. They don't even think about that can impact them. We go over all that, and then what we do is once we give them that, we still have our ideas. Okay, cool. You're still interested in the position now that you know more information. They either say yes or no, and then we go from there and we set up the phone interview. We don't have to do a phone interview. Our HR, in those positions, we can go right to in person, but we do a phone interview and then we do an in-person interview, and it's very detailed. This is what you're doing, who you're meeting, who you're talking to, all that stuff. And they come in and they're like, yeah, we already know what's going on. But not many places do that. And like I said, there are places that will ghost. And I understand why, because, thinking about it is, let's say, I'm going to play devil advocate here. Say Tim applied for one of my positions, and I was going, and Brandy and Nancy both applied too. And I was like, oh, I want to offer this position to Tim. And, if I went right away and told Brandy and Nancy, hey, sorry, we went with another applicant, they're like, okay, and they move on. And then, I'm going with the whole negotiation with Tim. We're going back and forth, and Tim decides, no, sorry, I don't want that position. It's not enough money or something. it's weird to call Brandy or Nancy back and be like, "Hey, do you still want to apply for this?" Like, offer it to them. So they kind of keep them in waiting just in case another applicant
Fall
is,
through.
okay, our second best one. And trust me, it's hard to pick. I have lost sleep over some of my applicants. I look at them and go, they're like, I can't go wrong with either or.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so don't think it's like that. It's like, oh, one clear person, then no, it is tight.
No, I
and
agree.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
What I
Especially now with there being so many quality candidates out there.
Right.
It's really, it almost really kind of comes down to that personality. And that we brought that up during one of our interviews. It's like, we're looking for somebody that would match the energy that our department is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
And
culture.
that's, you only get that with a Zoom or like an in-person meeting. Like that's the only time you can get that. That doesn't come off on paper. So,
Yeah. I was going to say what frustrates me is companies hiring internally, but they still put the position out there. And
Legally, they have to.
They have to.
You're
Legally,
wasting
they have
time.
to.
Yeah. With my ex-husband with Apple, it was a full month of interviews because, like you said, Tim, they had to make sure that he got along with all of the team members and that, they were going to be able to all work together. So.
And that's the saying is just so many people are so happy now that like the process is just so hard because you say one wrong thing and you might have a person come back and be like, well, you said this and now you went against it and now I'm suing you. And nobody wants that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Everyone wants quick money and not actually work for their money.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, we got to fix our health system because the benefits are terrible.
Well, there's that too. That's a whole
a
whole
whole
other
other
conversation.
I know. I'm paying out of pocket, and my tax consultant looked at me and he went, "Are you kidding me? Is that the real figure?" And I said, we go to a naturopathic and it's not covered, and that's the real figure.
So, I have my whole take on that too, and it's very interesting. And the one thing that blows my mind, and no, I don't think a universal health policy is the answer.
Right.
I don't think that. But what blew my mind was early on back in my old job, we had really good health insurance. And I used to get the EOB that explained the benefits and stuff. And I'll look and I'll use fake numbers here. These aren't real or anything. But say it was like, the hospital charged you $8,000, insurance paid $1,000, you owe nothing. Where's the other $7,000 going? If I had to pay out of pocket, I would have to pay the $8,000. Like,
Because it's a
what
negotiated
is this?
rate.
Like,
Yeah.
Negotiated rate.
Yeah.
Negotiate, right?
So I mean, where I'm really frustrated right now is insurance, and not just health insurance, but car insurance.
Don't even get me started there either.
Yes.
So Tim, we have all these topics.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
Oh,
what was that? Brandy and Nancy, you were both talking at the same time. So
Because
Brandy,
as we get older, it's supposed to get cheaper, but it has never gotten cheaper. And I'm like, I'm 52 well, now I have an accent, but I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I was saying, Tim, write down. We have all these topics for future.
I know.
You gotta start writing it down,
it's
Tim.
all about the life of the AV life. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Just by the way, can I just interject quick?
Yeah.
I saw the AV Super guys, the AV
Super
Friends.
Thank you. And I told them the one they did on speakers, I absolutely loved because they were jibber jabbering and, arguing and this and that. And I found it completely hilarious. Anyways, I got to meet two of the guys and I told them, you made my day.
Oh, fun.
that's a good that's a good group of guys. They have a great
They
show
are.
that they put on. I'm glad we're getting them twice a month now on higheredav.com. So you get a little bit more AV Super Friends. Actually, you get twice as much per month because it's not just once a month; it's now twice a month.
But can we get them on ours because they have such great personalities and
We could try for a merged episode. I'll see if we can bring them all in. We gotta have the whole crew then though, because like I'm not like we gotta make sure we all line up for this. So I'm speaking it into existence. Chris Dector, shoot, I'm drawing a blank on everybody. Anyway, the rest of the AV Super Friends.
Yeah,
guys, we gotta do it. We gotta do a merged episode. Yeah,
and then we can all discuss it.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if nobody's heard this
that's what we need to do. We need firing range. We need the firing range, and it's the AV life versus the Super Friends. That's it. That's the episode.
Sending you the invoice.
Now to bring this back to the jobs and AV,
and we'll start wrapping up from here, folks. So go ahead.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there listening. Yeah, this AV life. Like the one thing is, I think when you're applying for a job, do your homework. Mm-hmm. Know that you can go for it and be yourself. Yeah. Apply for it, and tech can be, as I always say, tech is easy. People are hard. Mm-hmm. Tech can be taught. So don't worry about that. And just make sure that you fit the culture. And the big thing I always stress when I'm interviewing candidates is not only are we interviewing them to make sure they're a good fit for us, they should be interviewing us to make sure we're a good fit for them.
Mm-hmm. That's the biggest, I will say that's the biggest thing. Always have questions at the end if you are the interviewee. And I will say the folks that we've interviewed so far, everybody has, and they've all been good questions, and it's usually about the fit and the environment and like what the vibe is. So because apparently vibe is important. So
all about the vibe, Tim.
It's all about the vibe.
I had one candidate who he asked a brilliant question. I was like, that is a brilliant question. I never had. I'm trying to remember. It was something along like, how does the team communicate during an issue?
Oh,
yeah. Like when there's an issue going on, how is the communication? I was like, wow, that's a brilliant question.
No, it is.
It is a really good one. Write that. Notes, people. Notes.
Take a note of that right there.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
So
this has been a great night of lots of discussions on a variety of topics.
Yeah, we jammed a whole lot into 52 minutes right now. So but so like James said, do your homework for all you applicants out there. Good luck. Just be yourself. Like that's the other thing too, because like don't try to fake it, because it'll just show up later and you're just being an unhappy person. And you also might have some unhappy coworkers as well. So better just let them see you as you are, and don't be ashamed of who you are. You're awesome. Whoever you are, whatever you are awesome for the way you are. So don't change that. Don't change that for anybody. You'll find the right fit for your personality and that team's personality.
Yeah, don't do the right job because it's a job, because then you'll be miserable.
Yeah.
But on the other end is, as the company who is looking at applicants, just have some empathy and just respond. If they're not in for the running, just let them know that. Just don't go cold turkey and crickets. It's not fair.
Yeah.
At least it sort of sets the expectation to say, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we've gone with someone else. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we become so cold, and this comes off of 8,000 being let go from Meta, where at 4 a.m. in Singapore, they learned about it in instant, no access on your computer, nothing. And my ex-husband worked for WhatsApp, and he got let go before that. And he said he knows the engineers, so he's been talking to them to make sure that they're okay. Because that's the thing. In Silicon Valley, and the reason why we moved over to the States is because he's a software engineer, was the opportunities, and you were golden if you were an engineer. You had stability, security, everything. And now we're learning that that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we have to support one another. And, you know, I know that these companies are thinking about AI and that's how they're going to, you know, use it, and they don't need the engineers and things. But I think we're going to see a change because more and more companies are realizing they've gotten rid of their top talent, but it's the human and things.
You have to have a human element.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, yeah, you need the human element. And for those who maybe are looking or still like unemployed or looking, I think a thing you should be ready for is AI. So if you're not using it, if you've got this, I don't mean this. I don't mean this meanly. I don't mean this to be mean, but you've got the time. Spend the time with AI and get to know it. Get to learn how to operate it and to manipulate it to do what you need to do and to be better at that, because that's going to become part of our jobs more so than it replacing our jobs.
Right.
So
you need to be adopted. You need to adopt it and learn it and know it inside and out.
Yep. So yeah, so great one, everyone tonight. This is good. So and thank you to Murphy. I know she had to bounce off a little bit early. Thank you all for listening in here tonight. Keep an ear out. Sounds like we got a lot of good episodes coming out in the future. So I need AI to be a note taker for us during the episodes. So that way I'll have a running list. So Brandy, Nancy, James, glad to have you back.
I know. Great to see you, James.
Yes.
Great to be back. Hopefully I can do it more, but you know, my schedule is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, come see me at InfoComm because I want to catch up with you. So
I'll be around, but we definitely got to catch up. Yes.
Cool. Yeah. And if you haven't registered for InfoComm yet, do that. Code HETMA will get you your in on that. And as always, until our next adventure.
see ya.
Bye.